What if I told you the deals you're attracting, the money you're raising, and the people in your circle aren't random? And what they really are is a reflection of how you think, how you move, and how you see yourself. Because the truth is this: you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. And in multifamily real estate, that truth becomes painfully obvious. You ever notice some investors seem to always find deals, always raise capital, always land on their feet, and others stay stuck analyzing, hesitating, second guessing? Same market, same interest rates, and same opportunities, but a different internal world. So, that being said, welcome back, my LLs, my Lubari listeners, my fellow real estate enthusiasts, and fellow real estate investors. Welcome back to the Lubari Real Estate Podcast, where we work on your mind, your body, and your spirit to make you the best person that you can possibly be in order to be in this world of real estate and in this world in general. All right, so today we're breaking down this concept. The world you see around you is a reflection of your internal state. And more importantly, how that truth directly impacts your ability to close deals, build wealth, and become the investor you say you want to be. All right, so first things first, let's talk about how the inner world creates our outer results. Right, so let's just get straight into it. Because your external results in multifamily, your deals, your partnerships, and your capital, they're all outputs. But your mindset, that's the real operating system. If your internal state is scarcity, fear, doubt, and hesitation, then your external world will look like missed deals, weak offers, broken partnerships, and inconsistent action. But on the flip side of the coin, if your internal state is abundance, certainty, discipline, and conviction, then your external world starts to shift and you move faster, you speak with authority, brokers take you seriously, and investors trust you. And here's a quote from good old Henry Ford: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." And in this business and anywhere else you go, that quote is the truth. All right, so let's talk about how this shows up in multifamily, and let's make this practical. All right, so let's start with the deal flow. So if you believe there are no good deals out there, guess what? You'll skim through OMs, you won't dig deep, you won't build broker relationships, and deals will magically not exist for you. For you. Because that's what you believe. But the investor who believes there's always an opportunity if I look hard enough, that person calls brokers weekly, tours property, they're the boots on ground, and they see the value where others don't. Same market, just with a different lens. You see it with a completely different perspective. Okay? Also, when you're raising capital. So investors, we all know investors don't just invest in deals. They invest in conviction. They invest in you. If internally you're unsure, you're hesitant, you don't fully believe in yourself, and that energy leaks. You start saying things like, I think this might be a good deal. Hopefully this works out. And your investors, they feel that. Now compare that to someone who knows. Their underwriting is solid, their team is strong, their vision is clear. They say, hey, here's what we're doing, here's why it works, and here's how we protect our downside. Because confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. And that's the energy that raises capital. Okay, so now let's move on to underwriting and decision making. So your internal state affects how you analyze deals. And the fear-based investors, they overanalyze, they inflate expenses out of anxiety, and they miss opportunities. Overconfident but undisciplined investors, they underestimate the risk. They skip due diligence, and they chase shiny objects. But the grounded investor, they operate from clarity. They stick to their KPIs, they trust the numbers, and they walk away when it doesn't fit. That's emotional discipline right there. And let me tell you something. Patterns don't lie. And here's the part most people avoid. If you keep seeing the same results, it's not the market, it's the pattern. Always, almost closing deals, always meeting investors but not securing commitments, always this close. That's not coincidence. That is a reflection. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And in real estate terms, until you fix your mindset, you'll keep reacting or recreating the same deal outcomes, just with different properties. So that is why you need to reprogram your internal state. And the real question becomes, how do you change the reflection? You change the source. You need to do an audit on your beliefs. Ask yourself, do I believe I can actually close a deal this year? Do I believe I deserve wealth? Do I believe I can lead investors? And be honest when you answer these questions that you ask yourself, because your results already answered those questions. Okay, you also want to control your inputs. You want, what you consume shapes how you think. And that's what I consider your diet. And your diet is just not what you eat. It's also the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the conversations you have, and your environment. And it's all part of your diet. And if you surround yourself with negative people or scarcity thinkers or excuse makers, your world will reflect that. All right? And just remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn. All right? So now, let's talk about taking aligned action even before you feel ready. All right? Because I understand a lot of people can get stuck at this moment. They wait until they feel confident. And that's ass backwards. Because confidence comes after action, not before. So that means call a broker, submit the LOI, tour the property, talk about what you do and who you are, and remember your own principle. Ready, fire, and then aim. Okay? And don't forget to detach from the outcome. This is one elite level thinking. The Did I say that wrong? I felt like I said that wrong. This is okay. This is elite level thinking. All right, detach from the outcome. All right, so you do the work, you execute at a high level, but you don't tie your identity to the outcome. Because when you're attached, you force deals, you chase validation, and you operate emotionally. But when you're detached, you move strategically. You walk away when needed, and you protect your reputation. All right, so I do have to say this though. I would consider multifamily to be definitely, it's definitely a mirror. Multifamily is a mirror. And I say that because multifamily real estate is not just a wealth vehicle, because it will expose it's a mirror because it will expose your discipline, your patience, your communication skills, and your integrity. It will show you exactly who you are. And if you don't like what you see, good. That means you've been given the opportunity to level up and change something about you that can help you become a better person and help you get to where you want to be and get what you want out of life. All right. So, in closing, as you move forward, don't just ask, how do I find better deals or how do I raise more capital? The question you need to be asking is, who do I need to become to attract those things naturally? Because when you upgrade the internal, the external has no choice but to follow. You know? As within, so without. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. And success is something you attract by the person you become. All right. So thank you for tuning in this week. This is the Labari Real Estate Podcast, where we don't just build portfolios, we build people. So stay disciplined, stay focused, and remember, everything around you is responding to who you're becoming. So let's go to work. I love you all, and be blessed.